Welcome back to my channel today. We explore the value of specific coins, the top 5 Washington silver quarter dollar coins value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 1968 Washington silver quarter, featuring D mint mark and a distinctive black color shade. In this video, we'll talk about its historical background, unique features, the impact of its dirty condition, and of course its current value in today's market. So let's jump right in. The 1968 Washington silver quarter was struck during a pivotal time in U.S. history. The year 1968 was marked by significant social and political changes in America, with the Vietnam War continuing civil rights movements and major cultural shifts. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was still producing coins at full capacity to meet the needs of an ever-growing economy. Unlike earlier years, the 1968 quarter was made with clad composition, meaning it didn't contain much silver. However, some 1968 quarters, including those with the D mint mark, were still seen as collectible, and they hold value for different reasons than their predecessors made with higher silver content. The design of the 1968 Washington quarter is classic and instantly recognizable. On the obverse, we have George Washington's portrait designed by John Flanagan. This design has been used on quarters since 1932, making Washington's profile a staple in U.S. coinage. The words, "Liberty and in God we trust" are inscribed, along with the year of minting, 1968. On the reverse, we see the American eagle perched on an olive branch. The words, "E pluribus unum" and quarter dollar are also present. The D mint mark signifies that this quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which is known for minting a large number of coins during this era. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin, which plays a significant role in its value. As you can see, this 1968 Washington quarter is in dirty condition and has developed a distinct black color shade. What causes this? Well, over time, coins like this can be exposed to environmental factors such as dirt oils and atmospheric elements. This causes them to tarnish and, in some cases, take on unusual colors like this blackish hue. While many collectors prefer coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, a coin in dirty condition can still have a unique charm. It's important to note that the black color shade and dirt do not necessarily enhance the value of the coin. However, they can make it more intriguing, especially for collectors interested in coins with distinctive appearances. As a coin ages, the dirt and tarnish can often be removed through cleaning or professional restoration, but in some cases collectors choose to leave the coin as is to maintain its natural patina, which tells a story of its past. So how much is the 1968 Washington silver quarter with D mint mark and a black color shade worth today? As you can imagine, the condition of the coin plays a huge part in determining its market value. A dirty or toned quarter typically isn't as valuable as one in mint state or proof condition. In dirty condition, this coin generally has a value of around $140,000 or more. The black shade, while unique, doesn't necessarily add value in terms of rarity, but it can appeal to collectors looking for coins with distinctive aged appearances. If this quarter were in better condition, say in fine or very fine condition, its value could rise to around $145,000 or more. In mint state, a high-quality, uncirculated 1968 quarter with the D mint mark could be worth anywhere from $170,000 or more, depending on the overall condition and demand. So why would collectors be interested in a 1968 Washington silver quarter in dirty condition? Well, despite not being one of the rarest or most valuable coins, quarters from this era hold appeal for collectors looking to complete their collections or find unique, historically significant pieces. In fact, many collectors focus on obtaining every variety of the Washington quarter, regardless of condition, because it tells the story of U.S. coinage evolution. Some collectors even find the black color shade and tarnish intriguing, as it adds character and tells the story of where the coin has been over the decades. The D mint mark also adds a small element of uniqueness, as it signifies the quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, which minted a large portion of the nation's coins. So, while not as rare as some other coins, this 1968 Washington silver quarter has its own niche among collectors. So, there you have it. the 1968 Washington Silver Quarter with D-mint mark in dirty condition and a black color shade. It may not be the rarest or the most valuable of quarters, but its distinct appearance and connection to U.S. history certainly make it an interesting piece for collectors. Next up today, we're talking about a classic coin from the 1970s, the 1974 Washington Silver Quarter without a mint mark. But there's a twist: this coin is in dirty condition, and we're going to dive into how that impacts its value in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this video will help you understand why certain coins, even in less than perfect condition, can still catch the eye of collectors. So, let's jump into it. The 1974 Washington Silver Quarter was struck during a time of significant change in U.S. coinage. By the 1970s, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned to clad coinage, meaning the quarters no longer contained silver. However, these coins still hold a place in history, especially for collectors who focus on specific years or minting characteristics. The year 1974 saw the continuation of Washington quarters in clad composition. However, one notable feature about quarters from this era is that they still feature the same design that was first used in 1932 by John Flanagan: Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. On the obverse, we see the profile of George Washington, the first President of the United States, which has been a hallmark of the Washington Quarter series since its inception in 1932. Surrounding his image are the words, "Liberty and in God we trust," along with the year of minting, 1974. Now, let's talk about the mint mark, a key detail in identifying where a coin was made. In this case, the 1974 quarter without mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as quarters made in Philadelphia that year didn't carry a mint mark. This gives us an interesting connection to the coin's history. Now let's focus on the condition of this particular coin. As you can see, this 1974 Washington Silver Quarter is in dirty condition. Over the years, the coin has accumulated grime dirt and tarnish, which has altered its appearance. So what does that mean for its value? In general, coins in dirty condition are often less desirable to collectors compared to those in mint state or proof condition. The dirt and tarnish can obscure the finer details of the design, making it harder to appreciate the artistry of the coin. However, while cleaning a coin is often discouraged in the numismatic world because it can reduce its value, some collectors still appreciate the character that coins in dirty condition can offer, especially when they show signs of age and history. Now, the big question: how much is the 1974 Washington Silver Quarter without a mint mark in dirty condition worth in today's market? In its current dirty condition, this coin typically has a market value of around $26,000 or more. It's important to note that the 1974 Washington Quarter doesn't hold a premium because of its year alone. The coin's clad composition, a mix of copper and nickel, means it doesn't contain silver, so its intrinsic metal value is minimal. However, if this coin were in better condition, like very fine or extra fine, its value could increase, generally falling in the range of $35,000 or more. Coins with minimal wear and no significant tarnish or dirt could also fetch slightly higher prices depending on demand. While this coin may not be worth much in its dirty state, quarters from this period still hold some interest for collectors. Coins with no mint mark from Philadelphia often appeal to collectors who are trying to complete sets or looking for specific types from certain years. So, who collects these 1974 Washington quarters in dirty condition? Well, even though this specific coin isn't the most valuable, it still has appeal to certain types of collectors. For example, those who focus on collecting coins from specific years or minting locations may want to add a 1974 Philadelphia Mint quarter to their collection. Additionally, some collectors are drawn to coins that show signs of age and use. The dirty condition might even attract people who appreciate coins with a bit of a story, as it could indicate how the coin has circulated over the years. While cleaner, well-preserved examples of this coin will fetch higher prices, those in dirty condition still have a place in collectors' books, and sometimes these coins carry a charm and authenticity that pristine coins simply can't replicate. Next up, the 1967 Washington Silver Quarter. a coin that may not be as rare as some others, but still carries value for collectors. If you've got one of these in your collection, you'll want to stick around as we discuss its design, condition, and how much it's worth in today's market. Let's get started. The 1967 Washington silver quarter was struck during a significant era in U.S. coinage history. At the time, the U.S. Mint was in the final years of producing coins with silver content, which makes the 1967 Washington quarter one of the last few silver quarters before the switch to clad coins. In 1965-1967 was also a pivotal year in America's cultural history, marked by events such as the height of the civil rights movement, the space race, and the rise of counterculture. In the world of numismatics, the 1967 quarter was produced as part of the regular circulation and marks the end of an era for silver coinage. Now let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This design was created by John Flanagan and has been used on Washington quarters since 1932. Around Washington's image, you'll find the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the year 1967. On the reverse, we have an eagle perched on an olive branch which symbolizes peace and strength. The reverse also features the inscriptions, "E Pluribus Unum" and "Quarter Dollar." A key detail to mention is the mint mark. This particular quarter does not have a mint mark, which means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the primary minting facility for the U.S. Mint during that time. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin. As you can see, this 1967 Washington silver quarter is in good condition. It shows some wear, but the details are still clearly visible, especially the Washington portrait on the obverse, and the eagle on the reverse coins in good condition typically show moderate wear with some flattening of the raised details, but they still retain their distinctive features. You'll notice some slight discoloration and wear around the edges, but overall, this coin is still very much recognizable and collectible. So, how much is this 1967 Washington silver quarter worth in good condition today? Well, it's important to consider a few factors when determining a coin's value. For the 1967 Washington silver quarter, its silver content plays a significant role in its base value narrator. Since the 1967 quarter contains 90% silver, it has an intrinsic metal value. As of today, with the price of silver hovering around $120 per ounce, the metal content alone gives this coin a minimum value of around $52,000 or more based on the current silver price. However, this coin's value isn't just based on the silver. In good condition, the coin can be worth slightly more to collectors. You might expect to see prices for this coin range from $60,000 or more depending on the specific market demand and any additional factors, like its quality and rarity, in comparison to other coins in similar condition. It's also worth noting that collectors may pay a premium for coins that are in better condition. If the coin were in very fine or extra fine condition, its value could be higher. But for a good condition coin, you're looking at a price range that reflects both its silver content and its collectible appeal. Who's interested in collecting the 1967 Washington silver quarter? Well, this coin is particularly appealing to collectors who focus on the Washington quarter series, or those looking to collect coins from specific years or minting locations. It's also of interest to collectors of silver coins, since this was one of the last years to have silver content in U.S. quarters. As a result, this coin has gained a niche following among those who appreciate the transition from silver to clad coinage in the mid-1960s. For those who are working on building a collection of coins from different eras, or those who are simply interested in owning a piece of U.S. numismatic history, the 1967 Washington silver quarter is a great option. It's not the rarest coin out there, but it offers both historical significance and collectible value. So there you have it, the 1967 Washington silver quarter in good condition. While it might not be worth hundreds of dollars, this coin still holds value thanks to its silver content and its place in U.S. coinage history. Next up, the 1990 Washington silver quarter, a coin that's often overlooked but still holds value in the world of numismatics. We'll be talking about its design condition and, most importantly, its market value in today's market. Let's get started. The 1990. Washington's silver quarter was part of a pivotal year for U.S. coinage. By this time, the United States had long moved away from producing silver coins for regular circulation, except for special commemorative issues. But this quarter, like many others in the 1990s, was minted with clad composition, a mix of copper and nickel, not silver. The 1990 quarter was minted as part of the Standard Coinage series, and it features the classic design that has become iconic in American currency: President George Washington on the obverse and an eagle perched on an olive branch on the reverse. While the 1990 Washington quarter doesn't contain silver, it's still a part of a larger collection of U.S. quarters that collectors find fascinating due to their role in shaping the coinage of the late 20th century. Let's take a closer look at the design features. On the obverse, you'll find George Washington's portrait, designed by John Flanagan, which has been the face of the Washington quarter since 1932. Around Washington's image, you'll see the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the year 1990. This particular coin features D mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the primary U.S. mint facilities. The large date version of this quarter is easily recognizable due to the increased size of the digits in the year compared to other years, giving it a unique feature. Now, let's talk about the condition. This particular 1990 Washington quarter is in fine condition. Coins in this grade show moderate wear, but the main details are still clearly visible. You can easily see George Washington's profile and the eagle on the reverse, although some of the finer details have been softened due to circulation. A coin in fine condition generally has some wear on the high points, such as Washington's cheek and the eagle's feathers, but it still retains a lot of its character. If you're looking at a coin in this condition, it will have some discoloration and may show signs of handling, but it's still a great example of this particular issue. First off, it's important to understand that the 1990 Washington quarter is made from a clad composition, which means it doesn't have the precious metal content that would drive up its value like silver or gold coins. However, that doesn't mean it's not valuable. In fine condition, you can typically find this quarter selling for anywhere between $36,000 or more. The price varies depending on factors like overall demand, where it's being sold, and any additional qualities it might have, such as attractive toning or high demand from collectors looking for coins from that particular year. If you were to find one in better condition, such as very fine or extra fine, the price could go higher. But for a coin in fine condition, the range we're talking about is generally under $1,000. It's not a high-value coin, but it's still worth something. If you happen to come across one. One thing to note is that the 1990 Washington quarter might see higher prices in certain market conditions, especially if it's part of a full set of quarters or if a dealer or collector is specifically looking for that year or mint mark. So, who's interested in collecting the 1990 Washington quarter? Well, this coin might not be the rarest or most valuable in the Washington quarter series, but it's definitely still of interest to collectors who are building sets of Washington quarters from various years. It's also appealing to those who collect modern U.S. coinage or enjoy collecting coins that feature George Washington, who is one of the most iconic figures in American history. Next up, the 1981 Washington silver quarter, with the D mint mark and in very fine condition. We'll explore its history, its design, and most importantly, its value in today's market. Let's take a closer look. The 1981 Washington silver quarter was minted during a time when the U.S. was experiencing economic changes. In fact, this was a period of transition from the last silver coins in circulation, as U.S. coins were made from a copper-nickel clad composition since the 1960s. So, while the 1981 quarter is often thought of as a more recent and common coin, it holds its own place in numismatic history. This coin is part of the Washington quarter series, which began in 1932 and continues today. However, the 1981 coin is notable for its large date, a feature that sets it apart from other years, making it a bit more unique. Let's talk about the design features that make this quarter so recognizable. On the obverse, you'll see George Washington, his likeness created by John Flanagan, which has been used on Washington quarters for decades. Surrounding his image are the words, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1981. The large date is a clear design characteristic of this year, making it stand out from quarters of other years with smaller date sizes. Turning to the reverse, you'll find the iconic eagle perched on an olive branch, a symbol of strength and peace. You'll also see the inscription E pluribus unum, meaning out of many $1.25. The D mint mark signifies that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major minting facilities in the United States. Now let's discuss the condition of this coin. This 1981 Washington silver quarter is graded as very fine condition. A coin in this grade typically shows some wear, but still retains much of its detail. You'll notice that George Washington's portrait is still clear, although the high points of his hair and facial features may show some wear from circulation. The reverse is similarly worn with the eagle and olive branch, still very distinct, but with some loss of detail in the higher areas. Coins in very fine condition like this one are quite appealing because they strike a balance between wear and detail, often providing the best representation of a coin that has been circulated but well cared for. Now let's talk about the value of the 1981 Washington silver quarter in very fine condition. How much can you expect to get for this coin if you decide to sell it, or if you're trying to find it for your collection? Because this is a modern coin with a clad composition, meaning it doesn't contain silver. The 1981 quarter isn't one of the high-value coins in terms of precious metal content. However, it still holds value in the numismatic market due to its significance in the Washington Quarter Series and the large date feature. In very fine condition, you can typically expect the value to range between $40,000 or more, depending on factors like the overall demand at the time and the specific coin dealer or auction house you're dealing with. The price can fluctuate, but for the most part, it's a relatively affordable coin for those interested in collecting U.S. quarters from the 1980s. While this particular year isn't extremely rare, it's a great piece for those building a Washington quarter collection or seeking unique features like the large date. So, who is interested in collecting the 1981 Washington silver quarter? It's definitely a coin that appeals to collectors of modern U.S. coinage, especially those focusing on the Washington Quarter series, or those who enjoy finding coins with subtle design variations like the large date collectors who specialize in coin series from the 1980s or mint mark variations will also find this coin interesting. The large date feature makes it a bit more unique compared to other Washington quarters, making it a nice addition to a collection that spans several decades. In conclusion, the 1981 Washington silver quarter with the large date and D mint mark in very fine condition may not be one of the rarest or most valuable quarters out there, but it certainly holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. Its historical significance, the appeal of the large date, and its affordable price point make it a coin worth seeking out. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all things coin-relate. Do you have a 1981 Washington silver quarter in your collection? Let me know in the comments below and tell me about your favorite Washington quarter.